Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. Grand Cathay are back in the news. Arguably, they never left the news, but at least this is in a more positive light rather than just talking about power levels. We've had the next wave of Cathay finally announced. We've known they're probably on the way around the corner for a long time now, and everyone's been eagerly waiting. And also, we've had some tigers teased for Total War 3. Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems and offer custom items to suit your club, your event or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description. Now, I know the Tigers are old news now. That was all last week or even the week before. I've lost track. I've had a week off, been away in another country on holiday, and I saw them pop up online and didn't really comment an awful lot on them. There was a little bit of discussion in the channel's Discord, which was always fun to see, but I wanted to address those myself as well as ask a few questions about what people are hoping for or expecting with this wave release from Grand Cathay. So let's start with the easy stuff. They're going to be up for pre-order next Saturday, and we have the new Arcane Journal, The Breaching of the Great Bastion. That's going to be really fun to see. What are you hoping for with the rules? I think I know what the answer is going to be. It's going to be for some balance, but what are you hoping for? You're hoping that all these peasants and these iron hail gunners and these crane gunners are going to be a little on the weak side to balance out what is already a quite powerful Cathay army. Are you just hoping that these are the right power level rather than trying to offset something else? I think the danger is always if these are super weak, they just won't see table time in certain game types and certain game styles. I, for one, hope that this all fits in nicely and makes Grand Cathay a much more rounded army. But I'd love to see in the comments what you think, what you're hoping for, some predictions for rules and the way these miniatures are going to be able to play on the tabletop. And what else are you hoping for from the journal? More lore, campaigns, some narrative battles? What kind of stuff would you like to see outside the rules for the new miniatures? Do you think there's going to be a new army list in total for just the peasants, or do you think it's going to be a new combined army list? Answers in the comments below. I'll be really interested to see what people think. We also have the Defenders of the Great Bastion Army reinforcement set. As we know, these reinforcement sets are generally a little bit limited and all the miniatures will come back out in its individual box, just like they did with Marauders. But are you going to be picking this set up, or are you just thinking of grabbing the book and waiting to see what the rules are like and maybe picking up the individual sets as they come out? So the set has 53 miniatures, including a foot and mounted Astromancer with a familiar, which is really cool. Not something we always get with these kind of miniature boxes. It's quite often just a way of adding more troops. It's really interesting to see them in the set. I'd like to see more of that going forward, definitely with army starter boxes for sure. The rest of the box is all infantry. You've got the iron hail gunners or the crane gunners. I imagine that is an alternative build off the same frame. And then, of course, you've got the peasants as well, which are the ones that stuck out to me most when they were first teased all those many weeks ago. And you can build those by the looks of things with bows or with spears or hand weapons, etc, etc. So what excites you most out of that set? I've already told you mine. I absolutely love the look of those peasants. Can't wait to get some units of those on the table, regardless of whether they're good or not. Well, what do you think? What are you hoping for from these miniatures? And then what is relatively old news now, we had some Tiger Warriors announced for Total War 3, and I know this will be covered by many other channels. I've seen the thumbnails even. I just haven't had time to watch anything being away on a family break. But I've had a few comments, as I mentioned at the start of the video, in the channel's Discord. A few people asked me for my opinions on them, so I'm going to give you my opinions on them. So nearly a week ago now, we had this small article tagged Warhammer the Old World, because I imagine it's the closest thing to Total War Warhammer 3, and some concept art for these lovely Tiger Warriors. I think they are created by the Warhammer studio, at least in conjunction with the Warhammer studio, and then working with Creative Assembly so that they can put them in their games, and they're on the way soon. Then if you click on the link, you actually get a little bit more information over on the Creative Assembly website on how to add these character packs and how much they're going to be. You've got your inventory, you've got your lords, the heroes, and your units and things as well. So we've got Bashiva, the legendary lord here, tiger wearing Cathayan style-esque, but not quite. And then we also have some tiger warriors as well, and I'll scroll on to the pictures. They're a little bit more interesting. These the spellcasters, by the looks of things. I've read a little bit of the lore, but didn't go into a great amount of detail, and there's a reason for that. And the main reason for that, for me, it's Total Warhammer 3. It's not Warhammer the Old World, and I'm not being naive there. I totally understand the connection. I understand where Grand Cathay, which is what this video is about, has come from. And those designs that went over to Creative Assembly many years ago, and they have done far more with. There's far more units available in Total War, which is set in the old timeline as well, than there are for Warhammer the Old World. And we know that these things are now being produced as miniatures. But my assumption is that this isn't going to be something we see next month. As a guess, I don't know for sure. They could surprise us with these, but I'm not going to get overly excited yet, because these are pictures of something for a game. They are not pictures of something for Warhammer the Old World, the tabletop game. And I think it's reasonable to assume that not everything we see in that computer game is going to make its way to the tabletop. Maybe a lot of it, but maybe not all of it. And remember, in the timeline wise, it's in the future. So it'd be very easy to say some of those units just don't exist in this particular time where they're not in the same situation they are with the rest of the game, where miniatures already exist and they're bringing them back for a particular reason, though they could still drop things for the same reasons. I think they have a little bit of room to say, no, we're not going to include those because that's part of the world we're not going to cover, or maybe we just won't see them for a long time. And then the main question I have, and conversations I've had with a few friends, is what do I think of them? And I'm honest with you, I'm not particularly excited about them, at least not as miniatures as yet, because they're not miniatures. Should they be designed as miniatures, I will make more comment on them then, I'm sure. And no doubt they will look different, and they will have lore, and they'll have a reason for being in the game if they do bring them in. At the moment, I'm not excited about them. I don't hate them. They don't offend me, but they just don't scream Warhammer to me at the moment. They scream something for the Warhammer Total War 3 game, which is fine. It's a different place. So if they make their way to Warhammer the Old World, cool, because I think that will mean that they're exploring new things. It looks like these could maybe open the door to some Ind troops, or at least some mercenaries or allies from Ind, or at least have a connection to Ind, which I think is really cool. Shows the game will be expanding and looking at new areas, and I think there's room for that for the game of Warhammer the Old World. But am I going to get overexcited decrying these now as nothing to do with Warhammer? They don't look Warhammer. No, because they're not in the game. They're in a computer game at the moment. And am I going to get super excited, said I want to see these now? No, for exactly the same reasons. But my honest opinion, as I've said, is I'm not super excited about them. I'm not dying to see them on square bases, but if and when they do arrive, I'll reassess that then and see what they're like, and see in the whole context of them being brought into the game if they arrive. But I am interested in what you think. Would you like to see these as a Cathay ally, or is this going a little bit too far away from your Warhammer, the Warhammer you've got in your head? And I think it's fine to have different opinions on these. We don't have to like every single miniature that's in all the ranges, in all of the armies. It's always been thus, that things are different and we all have different opinions and stuff. So I'm not too worried either way. So no dramas. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be really interested regardless. And that's it. Just wanted to jump in with a really quick video with a little bit of discussion around the news at the moment, especially as I was away when these Tiger Men were shown off. So I thought tonight was the perfect chance to do it after we've just had the announcement that the next Cathay wave is on the way, which is where all the real excitement will be coming forward. And remember to stay tuned to the channel around the time of the release, or coming up to the release, because I'm sure I'll be making some more content there as and when I can. But thank you very much for watching. Bizarrely, if you have found this channel for the first time via this video, do go and check out all the other Warhammer the Old World videos on the channel. It probably makes up half the videos that are on the channel, at least a third. There's a lot of videos on the channel that cover many other games and things as well. And most of them aren't me talking to camera like this. There are some reviews, some opinion pieces like this, some chatter about reviews, but a lot of it is around painting and hobby and things like that as well. So do go and check it all out. If you like the channel, you'd like to support me, check out my Patreon. the links in the video description for that. There's also a link in the video description for the channel sponsor, Counterattack Bases. They make loads of gaming aids, including custom dice, so please do go and check those out. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.